Senat is joining us this morning here on Proactive London from Media Tech SPAC because we haven't been introduced before. I've learned a little bit about your company, but you as a person and your expertise and a bit about your pedigree would be useful for us to be able to determine if you're suitable for this role, Rick. It sounds like you're a busy man. Maybe just introduce a bit about your background, if you would, and what your role is within the company.
Sure. Thanks for having me on, Katie, and good morning, everybody. So my background is basically that I've been in the media one way or another for close to 50 years. I'm amazed by that myself, actually, when I look at myself, because it doesn't feel like it. After university, I read law. I went into independent film production in the UK and in the United States, and I joined Warner Brothers, the film company, in 1977, I think it was, and over a period of years I headed up the European, Middle East and African Business and Legal Affairs Department of Warner Brothers. So in that role I found myself not just supervising the obvious business affairs, deals and things which are necessary to actually help make films and then distribute them, but also working on new projects, which was to introduce new businesses to Europe that the company had not been engaged in, or if they had, only marginally over its previous history. So things like building multiplexes, which was new, the new kind of multiplexes, expanding consumer products. That's Bugs Bunny on t-shirts. I'm sure you've got one at home. We all have somewhere, and things of that kind. Now, what did that actually mean? That meant that aside from my day job, which was doing deals and putting together teams of experts in their field so that they could accomplish what is necessary to get these major undertakings done, aside from my own specific role, part of my job was to put together teams, put the right jockey on the right horse, and lead those teams to get the job done as professionally as possible. I stayed with Warner Brothers for 25 years. One of the things that I did do at Warner Brothers, for which my grandchildren will be eternally grateful, was that I led the team that acquired the rights to Harry Potter. And so I've had what seems like a lifelong association with Harry Potter and its like. I left Warner Brothers in 2001 in order to pursue a more entrepreneurial career and to actually kind of exploit some of those skills which I think I had built up courtesy of Warner Brothers over those years. And what were those skills basically? Well, it continues to be putting the right jockeys on the right horse, leading teams. So since I left Warner Brothers, I have been involved in different businesses which we bought and sold. I built up a retail chain. I was chairman of the London Film Museum. We've sold some of those businesses to a multinational. I built up Hammer Pictures. I helped build up Hammer Pictures, revived this ancient and venerable company. And I've been involved in other businesses. I'm on the board of Cineworld, which is about to breathe themselves back into action following the coronavirus problem. And I'm chairman of a casting agency, Mad Dog Casting, one of the most important agencies in the country. So I've not been inactive, and one of the things that I think the SPAC does for me, segueing into your question, is gives me an opportunity to use those skills as an entrepreneur, not just to help find appropriate companies with the right kind of teams and the right kinds of innovation, given my closeness to the different media that I've been involved with over my lengthy career. But it also gives me an opportunity to help support those businesses in the long term, along with my excellent co-directors, John Matani, whom you've interviewed, Celia Lee, who's probably the most dynamic of the three of us in many, many respects. And of course, we've got best-in-class advisors, Riverport and Shore Valley. So that's where we are at the moment.
You've got a fantastic experience there, a really impressive CV, very clearly indeed. You couldn't ask for a better start than at Warner Brothers, that's for sure, in this market. We're going to talk about the listing though, because
Sure.
this is a big deal for MediaTek SPAC. Why are you doing it, and what are you hoping to achieve from it, Rick?
Right. Okay. So we started this process less than a month ago, I think. No, actually, probably a couple of days more than that. And the interest in it has been quite extraordinary. You know full well that there's been a lot of interest in SPACs, particularly in the United States, where the market is bubbling over, some might say. Ours is completely different in the UK, far fewer SPACs, but as a result of that, there's a great investor interest in what we're doing, particularly in the technological and innovation sphere that we're concentrating on. So we're doing this because we think that the time is right, the market is ready, and investors are hungry to invest in an opportunity for early stage growth in a new company that is not so big that the smaller investors don't get a look in. So that's the sort of opportunity that has expressed itself here. And because of our advisors, they are so switched on to change and what's going on in the commercial sphere, we think there are going to be lots of opportunities presented to us.
Brilliant, sounds good. Well, I'm looking forward to meeting your third talented person in this trio there, Celia Lee. That'd be great if we can catch up with her next time, because I've now met you, I've met John before, and I've nearly met the team. Thank you very much indeed for your time. Rick Senat there from MediaTek SPAC here on Proactive London.